In this video, I'm going to walk you through the easiest way to get 10 or more high-paying clients for your agency in the next 90 days using the pyramid method. I've used this exact method to get hundreds of clients for my agencies, and I've seen many of my students get crazy results with it too. Just last week, Highle signed his first client using this method, and Amy got a meeting with the CEO of one of the biggest businesses in the world. So I can assure you, this works really well. So let's take a look at what we'll be covering in this video. First, how to easily sign 5, 10, even 20 new clients using the pyramid method. Next, how to quickly find and land dream clients. These are clients who pay the most and require the least amount of effort. And for those who are dedicated and watch this through all the way to the end, I'll reward you with the perfect cold call script, which has landed me over $1 million in sales calls for completely free. All that said, I hope you're excited because it's going to be good. So let's dive in. All right, so the basis of the pyramid method is clearly a pyramid. And what we're going to do here is we're going to be breaking this up into different segments in order to help you allocate your time, your energy, all of your attention towards the most profitable, the most ready to buy people right now. You see, in any given market, pretty much does not matter what business, what industry, what market you're in, we can segment buyers based on where they are in regards to willingness and capability to take action. Now, the timeline is going to vary depending on the price point of the services that you sell. If you're selling, for example, a pack of gum, people don't typically need to think that over very much. But for the agency model that we're talking about here, the timelines that I'm going to propose are pretty realistic and very accurate and based off thousands and thousands of clients. A number of different studies have gone into it. So the very top of the market, we have around 5% of people, and they're ready to buy right now. Typically, this is going to be 0 to 30 days. They've got cash, they've got credit, they've got a problem, they want it solved, and they want it solved now. Next, we've got around 10% of the market. These are the buy soon people, and they're going to be buying in the next 30 to 90 days. So they're still in information gathering phase. They're doing their due diligence. They're trying to make the right decision for them. They've got a pain and a problem. They're aware of it, but they're not yet completely in the most painful, frustrating spot ever where they're willing to do anything they can to get this solved. Next, at the very bottom, well, this is where we have the buy later people. The buy later people buy typically between 4 to 18 months. Now, they make up 85% of your market. So of everyone that is available to buy from you, I'm talking about people that are within your target market, not just everybody in the world, but people that could potentially buy from you, we can categorize them into this. 5% are the buy now people, 10% are going to be the buy soon, 85% buy later. Now here's where things get tricky. These very top people that we're going after, we call them SQLs. And this means sales qualified leads. These are the people, again, have the money, want things done, they're qualified, they're ready to buy. Everyone down here, these are MQLs, marketing qualified leads. So they're going to require a very different strategy in order to actually convert them, nurture them, engage with them, present you as the best solution to their problems, and so on and so forth. Very different strategies, which is where so many agency owners go so wrong, is that they typically follow the traditional marketing advice to provide a ton of value and put out lead magnets and build an email list, create lots of content and nurture them and engage with them and follow up and on and on and on. And all of that is fine, and it will help you capture the 10 plus 85%, so the 95% of the market, but it'll do it later. And if you've got cash flow problems now, if you're sitting at 1 to 2 clients, you're unable to get past 10K a month consistently, 20K a month, 50K a month even, you need to focus almost obsessively on this very top of the pyramid, the SQLs. So these are your hot leads, but we can break this down even further by going after this section here. And in this very, very top section, we're typically looking at around 2% of this 5%. So we could break this down where this now becomes 3%. And this becomes, there we go. We'll draw a little squiggle there. That becomes 3% for down here and 2% at the very top. These are your spicy hot leads. These are the people with, for lack of a better term, the word we use in marketing is the bleeding neck. So they've got this massive pain, this massive problem. They have the ability to pay for it and they want their problem solved now. To them, there's something that they value more than anything, and that's time. They don't want to go through a long and lengthy nurture sequence. They don't want to join your email list, buy your course. I'm going to talk more about this later. incredibly important. But the thing to remember is that these people exist, and there's lots of them. So yes, there's more of the other ones, and we'll get to them later, but we don't need them, and we may not even necessarily want them if our focus right now is on cash flow, generating sales, getting new clients, basically building up your agency to a sustainable and profitable level. Now, probably the single most important takeaway from all of this is that we do need to adapt our strategy accordingly for who we're going after. And if we offer the wrong thing, we put out the wrong message to these top spicy hot lead people, not only are we not going to make the sale, but we're actually going to do more harm than good. So let me give you an example. If you are selling a baby sleep training course, you help people with newborn babies, teach them how to sleep through the night so they don't ruin their lives and so on. Well, you've got a couple different options. Option number one is you could package this as a 6-month course. You could provide follow-up calls. You could provide coaching. You could send them a baby sleep well basket in the mail, all of those things. But that is normally a completely disastrous and backwards approach, because do you know what someone who has a baby that isn't sleeping through the night doesn't want? A 6-month course on how to get their baby to sleep. You know what they do want? Their baby to sleep right now. So if you go to them and you say, hey, I'm going to get your baby to sleep tonight using this method, using this technique, using this sound machine, using this whatever it is, and your baby will sleep 8 to 12 hours for the first time since they've been home, that will make sales. On the other hand, if you say, hey, look, over the next 6 to 12 months, we're going to train your baby to sleep and then they'll be good forever, that is not only not going to make sales, you're going to repulse all of the people with this problem that are willing to pay top dollar to get that thing solved now. So the next question then is, if we've determined that we want to go after the spicy hot leads right at the top, make this our focus by all means, essentially, literally just driving this point home. I can't say this enough. Like, if your agency is doing under 10K a month, all of your effort should be spent here. But how do you find them? Who are these spicy hot leads? It's actually really simple. They're people that respond to your offer. So people that respond. We'll talk more in a second about how to build up a lead list and where to go and find them. But the fact is, they're everywhere. So it doesn't matter if you're putting out an offer on LinkedIn or on Instagram or on Facebook or email. It doesn't matter if you call, doesn't matter if you direct message them, doesn't matter if you use direct mail. None of this matters. The medium isn't what's important. What's important is putting something in front of them and seeing whether they say yes or no. For example, let's use our sleeping baby example. If I put out an offer to the market and I say, hey, do you have a baby that isn't sleeping through the night? And how would you like it if I could solve this once and for all with this one simple thing? Tonight, your baby will sleep for 8 to 12 hours. It's very clear. The people that have that problem and are in our spicy hot lead category right up here, they're going to say, yes, at the very least, I want more information. Tell me this magical baby sleeping thing that you have. At the very worst, they're going to say, yeah, maybe I'll sign up later, or I don't trust you yet. We can figure all these things out later. And at the very worst, and we're not even going after the people, they'll just say no, and they'll bypass it. Maybe they don't have babies. Maybe their babies sleep great, whatever the case. Very simple though, but we don't know until we make the offer to the market. And this is why one of the most important rules, and one that we're going to talk about as we go through this, is that you need to make offers, and you need to make them in a specific way, and you need to make a sufficient volume of them in order to make just an absurd amount of money. All right, so we know that these spicy hot leads are out there. The very next question then is, how do you make high value, high dollar, high profit offers to them in order to get their attention, get their engagement, get them to raise their hand and say, yeah, I want some more of that. Now, just gave you a baby sleeping example, but I appreciate you're probably not all in the baby sleeping niche. So here is how we're going to do this. The first thing we need is relevance. We did this already. We'll keep using this baby example. We did this already by calling out people that have this issue. We could do the same if we were selling a dog training product or helping people get more plumbing leads or whatever it is. We can literally just use their keywords, their names, their titles, anything that's associated with them in our offer and in our messaging. And in marketing, we call it a dog whistle. So we're essentially calling them out and it'll get their attention. Same thing happens when you hear your name in a crowd. You automatically turn and pay attention. Same thing happens if they're a doctor or a dentist or a chiropractor. The second that they hear it, they're going to perk up just a little bit. The next thing is specificity. The brain loves specificity. So one option you have when you're making offers, let's say that you're trying to help a chiropractor fill their practice with more patients. One thing you could say is, we'll help you grow your practice. or we'll help you grow your business. But those are broad and generic and not very good. What we could say, and this is going to come from really understanding who your market is, but like we could help you add 5 new patients this week, 20 new of these procedures this month, 50 new appointments in the next few days, whatever it is, but we want to put a specific tangible number to it because then again, it makes it seem more real and more concrete. Also, directness. And this is very important. And it stems back to here where we're looking at our overall pyramid of potential buyers and making sure that we're separating our SQLs from our MQLs, our sales qualified leads from our marketing qualified leads. The worst thing that you can do, actually, let me hold it there for a second. The worst thing that you can do to a sales qualified lead is to run them down a very long and complicated funnel, something that delays their ability to purchase and makes them go through all kinds of steps that are unnecessary and completely counterproductive. What you want to do is be direct with your offer and essentially just say, this is what I have. This is how it's going to help you. Here it is. Would you like it? I've pulled up a bit of a graph here on the screen. And what this is taken from a book called How to Create Irresistible Offers, written by Robert Bly. And they did a study, or this is referencing a study done by the Kern Institute, where they looked at different kinds of offers, whether they were mostly brand and promotional and value style content, or what we would consider a direct offer, something that says, do you have this problem? We have this solution. Here's how to go get and take action right now. And I really want you to pay attention to the cost per sale. This is how much it costs in advertising dollars, in time, in content creation, in order to actually get someone to buy something. And there is a marked difference here. Basically, if you've got a primarily offer-driven message, you're saying, look, you have this problem, I have the solution, you can come get it now. We're looking at like $50 to $100 a sale. The actual dollar amount is irrelevant compared to the contrast between them. For example, if we're looking at primarily brand driven, hey, we're a really good company. We help this. We're great at this. We can do these things. Here's some tips, et cetera, et cetera. We're looking at something that's like 10 times the cost. And this is why marketing strategies like content marketing, email marketing, building up social media profiles and platforms, they're good, but they're not great when you're first getting started. They're a secondary strategy that needs to be pursued way later after sales have already come in. Remember, again, sales qualified leads versus marketing qualified leads. All of these later strategies, they're going after all of the other market that hasn't bought, and we can get them later. Right now, to get to 10, 20, 50K a month, we need to be going after sales qualified leads pretty much exclusively. So let me show you now exactly how to create a clear, compelling, and direct offer for this market. I'm going to give you a framework and a template, one that I use and I've used for years now inside of all of my agencies and with all of my clients and students. I'm also going to give you a bit of a hack here and a simple ChatGPT prompt that you're going to be able to use to go just literally plug into the software and have it spit it out perfectly for you. But it's important to understand the framework so that you're going to be able to repeat this again and again and not just rely on a very simple hack. So the very first thing that you've got to identify is the niche that you're going after. These are the business owners, the industry, the market that you're after, essentially who you serve. So who you serve is step one. Then what we need is whatever tangible results that you provide. And the reason that we're going to say tangible results is because, again, remember specificity, remember the importance of being relevant, remember being clear. So are you getting them clients? Are you getting them patients? Are you getting them appointments? Are you getting them bookings, feet in the door? Are you getting them reservations? Whatever it is that they're after, you want to make sure that you're clearly communicating this to them. So these are all of the essentially tangible results that you get. Next, we'll just keep on stacking pluses. Next, we need how you do it. Now, this is a topic unto itself, possibly for another video, but the word that we're looking for here is unique mechanism. What is a unique mechanism? It is your proprietary, special way, system, formula, process, step-by-step, whatever it is that you do, that's your unique mechanism. And you have one, I guarantee it, because there's a certain certain series of steps that you're going to walk clients through no matter what service you provide. If you're doing SEO, you'll have a certain way of doing onboarding and building citations and doing on-page optimization and getting backlinks. If you're doing Facebook ads, you'll have a certain way of scripting it or a templated approach. You'll have a way of using instant forms or conversion events or whatever it is. Whatever that is, you want to make sure that it's packaged up and presented as your solution, because everybody does it different. And if your way is working right now, we need to make sure that we let them know. We'll also usually attach a name to this. This just helps with differentiation to it. It's the same reason that, for example, we call the program the Agency Accelerator Method, and we build acquisition agencies. The reason we build acquisition agencies, there's obviously the story and the science behind the acquiring of clients and the acquiring of results and all of that, but it also helps to form a mental picture of what this is going to be delivered instead of just like an agency builder program or whatever it is. So how you do it is there. After that, we've got So They Can. So this is benefits. So they can, so you can. So you can is one of my favorite ways to try to figure out what the benefits are. It's like, so we do this thing, and deliver this through this unique way, so you can, all of the things that they want. So do they want more time at home? Do they want more freedom? Do they want more money? Do they want more leads? Do they want better clients? Whatever it is. And then lastly, we have without. And this is a little bit of risk removal, but without anything they hate. So things they hate. For example, through the acquisition agency, one of the big things that I preach is the minimum viable agency model. So we build agencies without complicated websites. We build them predominantly organically, no paid ads required. We do it without having to create endless streams of content on social media, all of these different things. So essentially what you want to do is you want to package all of this up, and that's going to give you your unique value proposition and the way that you're going to be able to clearly communicate all of this to the market. Now, with that said, let me just pull up the ChatGPT prompt now, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so here's the prompt, and I'll make sure to either put this in the descriptions below or provide a link to the Google Doc so you can just copy and paste this all over. But essentially what we're doing is we're asking ChatGPT to help me write a clean, clear, concise, short value proposition using the following framework. So we help niche business owners get the results you deliver, et cetera, et cetera. So the only thing that you really need to fill out here are you need to obviously know the niche that you're after. I've got a number of videos on this channel, on my other channels, on just the incredible importance of niching down. You need to define the result that you deliver. They're obviously doing something that they care about. We need to go over the unique mechanism. Even just the name is fine, things they want and things they hate. And let me give you an example. When we do it like this, you can see that I filled it out. Niche being agency owners, result 10 plus new clients using the acquisition agency. Build an agency gives you complete time, freedom, financial, location independence, and so on, without doing all of these other things that they don't want. And the beauty is we fire all of that into ChatGPT, we hit enter, and we've got that. Here's your value proposition. We help agency owners get 10 plus new clients with our agency acquisition agency method so they can build an agency that gives them complete time, location, and financial freedom without the burden of building a fancy website, running paid ads, or creating endless pieces of content. Very simple, very straightforward. The hard work takes place prior to this, making sure that you've identified who the niche is, you figured out their pains, problems, fears, and frustrations. But of course, this can get evolved and iterated as you go. It does not need to stay this exact same way forever. The more information that you get, the more clients that you bring on, the more conversations you have, the more all of this is going to evolve over time. So with that said, the next thing that we've got to talk about is where do we find leads and how do we do outreach in order to get them and turn these leads into clients for your agency? How are we actually going to make sure that you're getting these 10 plus new clients in the next 90 days? Well, first of all, you need to understand that leads are everywhere. Everywhere. There is no lead shortage. There is no traffic shortage. There are billions and billions and billions of people on the planet. Even if you're in an incredibly small, niche down agency that serves a very select amount of people, you still have tens of thousands of potential clients to draw from. And 10 clients at $2,000 a month is a $20,000 a month agency. 20 clients at $2,000 a month, and now you're at 40 grand. 20 clients at $5K a month, and you're at 100 grand. So we don't need billions of clients. We don't even need thousands of clients or hundreds. We need like 10, maybe 20, maybe 30, 50 if you're feeling extra ambitious. But the point is, leads are everywhere. They're on LinkedIn. We can do it through searching, simply going into LinkedIn, typing in different keywords. It'll bring up more information than you ever thought was possible through your connections, second-degree connections, etc., etc. Another option is literally going to Google, typing in the keyword or the niche plus a city name. So for example, we could say landscapers or landscaping companies. We'll just say landscapers in Seattle. Feel free to swap that out with whatever you like. Roofers in Austin, plumbers in New York, whatever it is. But we go to Google, you're going to find them all right there. There are going to be some running ads that we can reach out to, some in the Google Map pack with all the little pins, lots in there. And then obviously all of the organic listings below that. Really good spot to look is actually page 2 as well, because you've got a lot of value there if you can get them to page 1. And Facebook, yes, they're there as well. There are groups, organizations, there are people with it in their titles. You can look for pages, literally just a little bit of market research, and you're going to have more leads than you could ever want. Another thing, and this is my preference, is to use Highle's prospecting tool. I'll show you what this looks like in just a second, but I use this because then it allows me to send audits to clients and actually provide them some value ahead of time, which means that if I am going to call them, it's not necessarily a cold call because I'm following up on an email and have already led with value. I'm going to circle back to that in 1 second because the 2 other ones that I want to cover first are Upwork and Fiverr, or any other kind of freelance site to get them to build you a lead list. You simply let them know the industry that you're looking at, let them know any of the specifications around what you're looking for. Actually, there's more. Like I said, leads are everywhere. There's tools like D7 Lead Finder, like Apollo, countless others. Instantly, another cold email software. They have lots of leads that you can go through there and literally buy lists of them. You can actually buy them from a list broker as well. Again, leads are literally everywhere. So that is not a factor stopping you from taking action and getting out there. In fact, it could be argued that probably the easiest thing to do is to just go to Google and start looking through those. And if you don't find, especially if you start going through like 1,000 of the largest cities in the US, you're going to run out of time before you run out of leads. But let me dive into the high-level prospecting tool now to show you what that looks like. All right, so here I am inside of the high-level prospecting tool. This is available under agency accounts. All you really have to do is go to your agency account, click on prospecting, and then you'll see right here, we've got a ton of different options for what to do. We could go, let's stick with our landscapers. So we'll go landscapers in Phoenix, Arizona. We'll just hit enter and we'll see what happens. And just like that, we've pulled up a list of different landscaping companies in Phoenix, Arizona. We can see what they've got going on. If they've got their Google business page claim, we can see if they're running WordPress. Let's just pick one randomly here. We'll go straight line. We can click in there. And just like that, we've now got their name. We've got their phone number. We've got their website. We can actually run a full audit on them. It takes just a couple minutes, and it's going to basically go through and crawl all of their information. It's going to get their how many reviews they're getting. It's going to check for citations. It's going to check for all kinds of value that I can then create a short report or create a short video for and send that over to them. Again, incredibly powerful tool, very simple to use. Takes all of about 2 seconds to go in there and get more leads than you could ever possibly use. The next question then is, how are we actually going to go out and get a hold of them and make contact with all of these different leads? What are the options available to us? Well, similar to there being an endless supply of leads, there's an almost endless supply of outreach methods that you can use. We've got emails, we have calls we can make, we can send them direct messages through all of the social media platforms. There's really no limit to it. We can actually even run ads, though I don't recommend that until your business is doing $50K a month plus. So we'll just put that through there. They're all good. They all work fantastic. It really depends on where you think you're going to be strongest and where you're going to get the best results based on your style, your personality, et cetera, et cetera. That said, there is one that is the absolute fastest way. And the somewhat morbid story that I tell is that if someone came to my house and like kidnapped my whole family and told me that I had to make $100,000 in the next 10 days, what would I do? I would just cold call. It's not glamorous. It's not sexy. It's arguably not even very much fun, but it is profitable, very profitable. So you've got to ask yourself, how much do I really want my agency to succeed? And how willing am I to do the uncomfortable things to get the results that I actually say that I'm committed to achieving? But of course, if that's too much to ask, well, you could always start with an email first. You can do an audit. You can follow up with a call. That makes it a whole lot easier to do. The point is, you want to use any one of these, and ideally you pick one and get your agency to like 30 to 50K a month first before starting to add other options. And then ads, I'm going to strongly recommend you limit that until you're at like 50K a month plus. There's simply no need to be spending money, and ads is an entirely different way of doing business and requires a whole different skill set. So emails, calls, direct messages, and we've got to follow something called the rule of 100, which is worth unpacking. So we're going to talk about that more in a second. But the big takeaway with all of these is that your time, your energy, your day needs to be structured around what we call RGAs. RGAs are revenue generating activities. And these are vital to the success and profitability of your agency. They're also incredibly easy to not do. Just full disclosure. They're the things that actually make you money, but they're the things that often get pushed to the back burner and put off till later. So we've got two columns, essentially. We have RGAs and we have non-RGAs. Non-RGAs. These are things like updating your website, working on your logo, basically anything to do at all with social media that doesn't involve having conversations and actually booking appointments and going on and doing the important things. Revenue generating activities, there's usually only two. And that is booking appointments with potential clients. So doing literally anything you can to book appointments. In fact, that's the goal. This might alleviate some stress as well of the thought of cold calling. The goal of cold calling is not to make a sale on the call. The goal of cold calling is to book an appointment. Then you can present your case, you can learn about them, you can diagnose the problems, present a solution, and so on and so forth. So booking appointments and having appointments, because this is how you get clients. Anyone that tells you otherwise is a bit mistaken. And the reason is because no one is going to pay thousands and thousands of dollars a month without having some kind of conversation with you about your service, about the benefits that you can provide. Now, the only possible exception is if you're selling something for pennies on the dollar. You're selling agency services for like $100 or $200, in which case you may be able to send them just to a sales page. It is my strong recommendation that you do not do that. There are a number of very bad agency models out there. Super underpricing yourself, selling specifically only SaaS and not providing any higher level services is a very slow way to build wealth. There's just significantly better options by focusing on delivering higher quality services. But let's leave that for another day also. Now, the problem is with all of these is that most agency owners, me as well in the early days, struggle from something I call productive procrastination. Productive procrastination is where you're busy doing things that just don't matter. So you feel like you're getting progress. You feel like you've had a good day. You've made some progress. You've had some successes because your website looks better and this looks better. You made some content and you maybe reached out to like 2 people or whatever it is, but not enough and not in the way that actually drives your business forward. If you're sitting at less than 10K a month, 50 to 80% of your day needs to be here. That's it. Full stop. You've got to be doing these activities and you will make more money than you have ever made in your entire life. It will blow your mind and you will look back on this and be like, man, why didn't I do that earlier? And that is me speaking from experience. It took a lot of years, sadly, for me to realize that what everyone was telling me about making sure that I was just doing these things was going to make me just an enormous amount of money. And then I finally started listening to them and things changed. So let's talk about the rule of 100, because that's what we've really got to get across here. The rule of 100 is very simple, and it basically just says that every single day, workday, Monday to Friday, you're doing 100 outreach connection attempts. Calls, emails, DMs, Facebook friend requests, Instagram DMs, LinkedIn messages, whatever it is, every day, ideally first thing in the morning, when you first wake up or first get to work, every day, 100 outreach attempts. I'm going to say connections. 100 outreach connections. This does not mean 100 sales, 100 clients, 100 appointments. It means that you're doing the things that are going to lead to the outcome and the result that you want. There is a little bit of faith required on your part to understand that these activities are actually going to deliver dollars in the bank, but I'd like to say not that much faith, because this is the process that basically all of the multi-seven-figure agencies that you see, this is what they did or what they do to continue their level of success. So we've got to make sure that we're doing all of that as often as possible. I heard it said once that your income can be measured in direct proportion to the amount of offers that you're making to the market. Let me say that again. Your income can be measured in direct proportion to the number of offers that you're making to the market. In other words, if we're making a lot of offers, we have a significantly higher chance of getting appointments and actually making sales. On the other hand, we can all imagine this scenario where we're just sitting there and we're avoiding doing the uncomfortable work because it's uncomfortable, and therefore we're not making any money at all. That was my early story, and I would hazard a guess that if your agency is sitting at 1, 2, or even 3 clients under 10K a month, this is literally the solution, and the problem is not doing this actual solution here. So I'm going to tell you a bit of a story. I want you to imagine for a second 2 different agency owners. I'm going to draw them out here. We got Matt and we got Chris. Matt and Chris. Also, a bit of a side note, I apologize if your name happens to be Matt or Chris. This is not intended to call anybody out and get you to take action, or is it? So we got Matt over here, we got Chris over here. Same age, grew up in the same neighborhood, went to the same school, same everything. Started an agency, serving the same niche, doing everything the same, literally everything the same. Same offer, their website looks the same. The only difference is that Matt is following the rule of 100, and Chris is doing what most agency owners do that are stuck. And they're doing all of the other things up here, all of these non-revenue generating activities. Now, I want you to imagine for a second, and I promise you, this is not a trick question at all. Fast forward 30, 60, 90 days. Which one of these agency owners is making more money? Like I said, not a trick question. I mean, it's clearly Matt, and not by a little, but like by orders of magnitude more. And I'm going to show you the math. I call it agency algebra in just a second. I'm going to break down just how incredibly profitable this is and hopefully change your mind once and for all. But like, it can be this simple. Now, simple, not easy. It's going to require work, a little blood, sweat, and tears, but like the payoff is massive, right? So again, this is what most people do. Don't be like most people. This is what the successful people do. Just do what they do, and you're going to get the results that they get as well. All right, so what you're looking at here is something I call agency algebra, and it's really just a way of visualizing the funnel or the process of client acquisition to help assign some real tangible metrics and numbers to it to show you that all of the work and the energy and the time that you're putting in are not only worth it, but they're kind of obvious. It's very much cause and effect. We do this thing, we get this result. We do it again, we get the result again. We do twice as much of it, we get twice as much of the result. One of the biggest problems that new and struggling agency owners have is simply not doing either the right system, the right formula in the right order, or not doing enough of it once they figured out that it works. So let me break it down. Essentially, we're starting with outreach, and we're starting with this rule of 100, which means every day, ideally before lunch, first thing in the morning, we're making 100 connections with our potential clients. We've already established leads are literally everywhere. There are thousands and thousands of them, so that shouldn't be a problem. Now, we're going to do outreach through call, through email, through DM, through whatever is your preferred method. And what we're looking for is a 15% positive reply rate, meaning someone sends you something back that says, yeah, I'd like to know more. Yes, I'm happy to set up an appointment. Yes, tell me more about what this looks like, etc. Then from there, we're looking for a 33% booking rate from the people that say, yes, I'm interested, to the people that actually book a call. Because shocker, some people are going to say interested and then they're just going to disappear, but that's okay. Because remember, we have thousands and thousands of leads. So if someone doesn't pan out, we just move on to the next one. So this is going to mean from 100 connections, we get 15 replies, 33% booking rate, which means we now have 5 appointments. Assuming that you're brand new to sales, you've never closed anyone, you're a little bit nervous, it's incredibly uncomfortable. So you're going to have like a 20% close rate, which I'm still going to argue is very conservative. Some of the top closers in the business, especially when you get things really dialed in, we're looking at 30, 40, sometimes even 50%. So those are attainable metrics. But for now, let's just say you close 1 in 5. That means you now get 1 client. So this means that if we can do 100 outreach attempts, get 15% replies, get 33% booking rate, have a 20% close rate, we could have 1 new client for every 100 outreach. But let's assume that all of this is just way too optimistic. We could slash this in half. So now let's say that we can do, we need 200 connections, 200 outbound things to get 1 client. Or let's make it even worse. Let's say we need 500 connections to get 1 client. Well, if your services are priced at, say, $2,500 and you get 1 client a week, that means by the end of 4 weeks, you're going to have $10,000 in client contracts. And next month, provided they renew, which most clients are going to stay for at least a few months, provided you do things right, that means that we do this again, we now stack an extra $10,000 on top of that. So now we're at 20. And if we do it again, we stack an extra 10,000 and now we're at 30. But your numbers are going to get better because you're going to get better at doing your outreach, at booking your appointments, at having your calls. So this is why it's just so incredibly important to make sure that we're doing things in the right way, in the right order, we're tracking things and we're actually following through, because we're not just guessing and hoping and praying that clients magically walk through the door. We're making active roles to go out there and to make this happen. And when it does, yeah, good things happen. And this is why it's interesting to me when I see someone and I talk to them and they have a goal of making 10K a month. That's the goal. I want to make 10K a month. And if I can get there in the next 6 months, everything will be fine. And that's normally too conservative a goal. I mean, I appreciate if you've never made that kind of money before, it sounds like something that's totally impossible, but I assure you it's not. And if you just follow the math, not only is it very achievable, but it's pretty much the minimum goal that I think you should set. And we should hit it, then we should move on to 20, then 50, then 100, and from there. So let me put this together now in a step-by-step plan that will guarantee you hit 10 plus clients in the next 90 days. We'll see 10 clients in 90 days from top to bottom. Number 1, we've got to make sure that our offer is targeted and aimed specifically at spicy hot leads. Again, remember that pyramid? We're going after these guys up here, and we need to make sure that we have an offer that is appealing to them by being direct and relevant, specific, solving their problem right away. This is probably one of the most important parts, is making sure that we're actually solving a real painful problem for a rabid, avid, bleeding neck kind of buyer that wants this thing solved right now. Next, we want to choose 1 outreach strategy. 1 outreach strategy. This can be calls, emails, DMs, whatever it is. Pick one and stick to it for the next 90 days. The reason is because you're going to get constant feedback and you're going to improve rapidly, rather than if you do calls one day, emails the next, DMs here, DMs on LinkedIn, then maybe Instagram, then Facebook. Every platform is a little bit different. Every one is a little bit more nuanced, and you're going to have to keep retraining and relearning, and it's going to just make things take 10 times longer to actually get success. So stick with just 1 for now. Then rule of 100 on that thing. Rule of 100 on whatever your outreach strategy plan is, and wash, rinse, repeat. Again, remember, you want to be like Matt, not like Chris. No offense, Chris. You got this. I believe in you. But like the point is, you've got to make sure that we're actually following through with this. And if you do, it would be unreasonable for you not to have those kind of clients in that short amount of time. And in fact, I wish I could pull up, I'm going to see if I can find the screenshot to attach in editing from a note that I just got from my accountant regarding what happens here. And it's something along the lines of, I don't know how you made so much money. It's crazy to look at your accounts like this. And literally, I wish I could tell you that it was some magical secret that I had, some alpha elite strategy that only the top 1% of all agency owners know. But it's not. It's this. That's the secret. So now the choice is yours. You can choose to take the lazy path and just keep on watching YouTube videos, or you can take all of the information that I've just given you, information that is proven to work to catapult your agency to 10K a month, 20K a month, 50K a month, and well beyond. And seeing as you were dedicated enough to stick with me through this whole video, all you have to do is type in the link that you see on the screen to get access to the exact perfect cold call script that we've created after over 10,000 cold calls and has generated millions and millions of dollars for our agencies. And if you're interested in in seeing how we help agency owners get leads and scale their agencies to multi-6 and 7 figures, all you have to do is check out the link in the descriptions below this video.